Welcome to another episode of the PLA podcast. Today we have a very, very, very special guest, and I am so excited. I've been looking forward to introducing this person for months, to be honest. And it is such a treat to have you, Ravi. Welcome to the PLA podcast. Welcome as our guest today.
Thank you, Dunya. It's always pleasure talking to you all the time.
Oh, I would love to introduce you to our audience so they can get to know you a little bit better. I've gotten the absolute privilege of getting to know you so well over the last few months, and I find myself extremely blessed with everything that I've learned from you and your experience and your way of seeing life and your career inspires me and so many around us. So let me just run through a little bit about you so everyone else can get to know you. Meet Ravi Boragal, manager in the automotive industry with a passion for leadership and growth. An endurance athlete having completed multiple full marathons and 70.3 Ironman triathlons, runs his own podcast, creating a space to learn from people and share their inspiring stories. Dedicated to mentoring and giving back, working with schools in India to inspire and guide students, and believes deeply in authenticity and the idea that each person is unique, whether in the workplace, in sports, or in life. Ravi, welcome to the PLA podcast. It's such a treat and a privilege to have you on today.
Oh, that was a very, uh, I think the way you put together, it amazed me. Uh, but I hope to keep up that expectation, what you kept it on. Thank you so much. It was a very nice introduction and the best I have ever heard of.
Oh, Ravi, well, it's your story. I'm just sharing it. So really the inspiration is from everything that you've created, really. And I'm so excited. I think everyone that's listening to this podcast, that's listening to this recording is going to get so much value from today's conversation. So I'm so excited to interview you.
Thank you.
So I would like for us to go back in time at the very beginning of your career and where your story all started. Would you be able to share with us, what was the beginning of your story like?
Yeah, uh, I was very means like I was very fortunate enough to study in great in universities and schools. I was studied in one of the best Sainik school, Bijapur, and then which is a residential, which we train for to be part of Indian military and other things. And and later one of the MS Ramaya, the mechanical engineering. So some of those foundations started from there is what I feel like uh, sticking to what maybe knowingly or unknowingly, and
Mhm.
that is where I helped. Uh, I tried to be in the military, but could not, but use that learning to somewhere else and that discipline to be somewhere else.
Incredible. And what's interesting because I never knew, I've gotten to know you so well over the last few months and I never knew this part of having studied in a university that could have led you to military work. And anybody who knows you and has listened to the intro, knowing even like the Ironmans you have done, the marathons you have done, like this is like Navy SEAL level dedication and discipline. And so it does make sense now that you're sharing this with me. I'm putting two and two together where you've applied, even though you chose not to pursue the path of working in the military, you've actually applied the discipline that it taught you in your day to day life, whether it professionally or personally in your discipline.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. And I tried, but maybe I did not meet the criteria of them because it's a very intense process too. And uh, and I'm okay with it, but and I did not practice this immediately in my life. But eventually, like when I started these being Iron Man and all, there is a upper limit or ceiling I had put to myself. That mindset shift is the thing. When I started those resistance taken away slowly and slowly, I was going through a different phase and small changes and in like anything that small things change a different thing, a lot many things.
Wow. There's so much that I'm learning. Like what I love to say, I want to put that out of the way just because there's so much more I want to also share. I love that the podcast has already started and you're already teaching us such a big insight. If anyone's really reading between the lines and what you're sharing, you said it, you said it best. I didn't make it, but I am okay with that. And imagine we're just a few minutes into the podcast and you're already teaching us that piece where there are things that won't work out in the favor of what we hope on this journey. And many of us have experienced this before. But the sooner we can accept this and make peace with it, the sooner we can actually take the teachings and implement it and apply it to what's coming for us still. And everything happens for our greatest and best, in my opinion. And I really believe, like, I love that we're just a few minutes in and you're already teaching us that and highlighting this piece of, look, I didn't make it in the military, like I didn't make those criteria and I'm okay with it. Like I've made peace and I've learned to apply those teachings in so many ways.
Yes, yes. And the biggest thing I feel is that I'm coachable,
Mm,
and 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 that changed the way I see it. Uh, a lot of times, uh, I feel like sometimes you are too much coachable. Also, is you are taking too many things. But defining and being coachable is the biggest gift I would say can anybody have.
Oh, Ravi, I love this. I want to dig deeper in this, okay? Because I think that this is a lesson that even I have to practice. There are moments where I'm extremely coachable, and there are moments I'm not so coachable. So I'm curious to know: were you always coachable? Were you at times not coachable? How did you become coachable, or was that always part of your character and journey?
That's an amazing question. Um, See, as you said, like sometimes we put ourselves into so much resistance. I was there, and then and accepting and tagging ourselves with those. Um, like I can say, the last 1.5 year, 2 years of learning or the growth, if I put it in a chart, I would have learned more than 20, 30 years of what I would have.
Wow.
Is it is because like maybe bits and pieces somewhere and they are all adding up now,
Mm,
but being with the PLA teams, being with the proximity of people,
yeah.
and that when I said coachable, maybe I was being coached with something else that distracted me. So uh,
This is
that was nice. Like when I saw it and I grabbed it, like with both open handed, like I want to be. And that where I started seeing small, and then uh, I'll go for it. I'll go for it. I feel.
incredible. Ravi, what I love what you shared, and it's something that it was an insight that came years ago in my own work, and I still grapple and question. I love the piece where you said, in 2 to 3 years, my life shifted so much compared to what it took 25, 30 years to get there. And I love that you said that it was so subtle, but it was so interesting. Maybe it was finally the accumulation of the 20 or 30 years of work that I had done that had finally landed, that had finally clicked, that had finally happened. And I'm like, oh, this is so important. So many people listening to this podcast, I hope you're taking this in of reminding yourself that, okay, things may not be landing or moving as fast as you want to, but the work you are putting in today is not lost. And when it is going to be the time to land, and you are going to be in the proximity of an incredible community, guided and coached by amazing mentors, those things are going to land when they are meant to. And none of this timeline is lost. None of this work that people are putting in is really lost. And then the third thing I really wanted to bring up was, you share this piece around there was an opportunity in front of you and you grabbed it. You didn't hesitate. You said, I'm going to take this bull by the two horns and I'm going to go for it. And so many of us are presented these opportunities and maybe passing on them without realizing, like, take imperfect action, go for it and find out is the best way to make progress and learn through it.
Yes, Yes, I want to go a little more on it
Of course, please.
because um, I feel like we, as you said, right, 20, 30 years, whatever we are doing, I have to go through that to appreciate what I have today.
Ooh, so good.
Maybe if I was not hungry, like if I never missed a water, I'll not be hungry. Like
Mm,
once I miss it and I'm seeing it, now I can appreciate more of it.
wow,
And then I wanted to give it a try. Like, okay, what max I can go? It's the speed limit. You try and go back, and then so when I got introduced and being open to learn, and I said like, okay, I have to say no to certain things. In last 2 years, I did not do a triathlon, which I used to love so much, but I learned them. I'm implementing in somewhere else. I said, this is not my time. I did that triathlon somewhere. Now this is May to be in this area.
wow, wow, wow. So good. I knew this conversation was going to be good. I knew it. I knew it. What I love about that is what we apply in one area, those skills will serve us if we are able to reapply them in other areas at different phases of our life. And so that discipline that we learn in one area is going to serve us in so many other ways than we realize. And I love this share. Oh, Ravi, incredible.
Oh, amazing. And I keep the things in a, I call it as KISS. Uh, Keep it simple and stupid. Uh, and when, because see, anything we take, right, running, it's a multiple step of stepping further. As a triathlon, as an example, if I take it, swimming, it's the same action of you putting in, going, and the biking like this.
Yeah.
So if I keep doing it, that for it, I'm achieving a Ironman, or I'm achieving a marathon, or I'm achieving. So this insignificant, consistent way of doing will take you that, making it to that level of inconsistent of taking one step, one step,
Yes.
one step is the
Wow.
great thing
Oh,
I
so
could
good.
learn from.
So good. I think that that piece of the repetition of the simplest actions will lead us the furthest. And and I love this, Ravi. So it makes me think of those who have these huge goals that are like in some ways overwhelmed by them. Really what it is, if we simplify it to the simplest step, it's a repetition of the same step over and over and over and over again till we have this, exponential expansion or growth or opportunity or evolution that really happens through it. But it's breaking it down into something so insignificant, so simple. It's almost a no brainer to get the next part done, the next part done, the next part done. I
Yes,
needed to hear this today. This is so good.
thank you, thank you. I'm amazing. I think maybe we are connecting and things are coming so easy. And yes.
Always, Ravi.
Uh,
Always. It's such a pleasure to talk to you. I feel like you just get it.
uh,
I'd be curious to know because I'm so I, and I'm so in awe of your work, especially with marathons and triathlons. For the simple reason is it teaches discipline at a level that most people never understand. That is very much applied also to career. I'd be curious to know what was the original pull to want to do them.
yes. I was into these things maybe in a smaller way in schooling, and we were disciplined to do that. And I was part of some sports activities and other things. But after the when you are out of it, life takes you different way. One time, I had a I wanted to do 5K run, and once I finished it, I was not comfortable.
Mm,
Maybe it is more of our Indian samosas and rasgullas that took me, and biryanis took me. And then I realized this is not the way I should be. And I and we are expecting a baby, and I cannot be a this one. And that is where I said, okay, I can make it. And again, proximity. At the right time, I was looking for something, and I was coachable. And these are all, again, see, we are coming to the same basic point. And I had someone in my office who had done Iron Man. And then I went to him. He was like, come on. And very few people come to me. He gave me his bike. He gave me, like, okay, do it. And then I didn't know swim. I don't know. I didn't know how to swim. I went with my daughter to swimming class. Uh, I was learning with the same teacher, and it was painful. But one at a time, I said, okay, one lap, and then I ended up doing 2 kilometers, 1.2, and now at any given time, uh, that is again keeping it to a smaller level.
Oh, I love this. I love this. I love the proximity. There's another piece, there's another ingredient that you just shared that if anyone really paying attention is going to catch on to. There's a part of it that's being humble. Here's your daughter. She's taking these swimming classes. She's a young girl. And you're thinking, I'm going to get in the pool. I don't know how to swim. It's painful. It's very humbling, but I'm going to get it done. And little by little, one lap led to another lap, led to another lap, led to these over 2 kilometers by swimming. And it was like, this is incredible. So, part of being coachable is allowing ourselves to, be new at something, to be in some ways a bit of a rookie, to be like, you know what, I'm not very good at this, and that's okay, and I'm still going to try, putting the ego aside and getting into action.
Yes. And like all the time, our coach Vamsi says, right? We grow when we are uncomfortable,
Oof, yeah, yeah,
and lot of growth happens there. And maybe that was during that time, and I'm seeing here also a lot of uncomfortable. But yes,
yeah, but you keep pushing.
yes,
Incredible. Yeah. Yes, and that discomfort, the human being, it doesn't love discomfort. It loves comfort. It loves predictability. It loves control. And
yes,
all and yet I find that I see it with myself and so many around us. When we push past discomfort, after the discomfort has passed in that wave, there's this euphoric feeling. It
yes,
feels so good. And then so all of a sudden it's almost like a slight disgust, like a slight addiction to the euphoric feeling of feeling that bliss from jumping out of the comfort zone, which encourages us to keep jumping out of our comfort zone after that.
yes, yes. And a lot of people say that, how, where do I start? Like
Mm,
for this triathlon marathon, no, I'm not nowhere no near. And sometimes they are excited. They are thinking as an Iron Man that I need to do it.
mm,
No, the when these kind of things said, right, that euphoria, being standing at the start line of this event, I have failed too. I have
mm.
taken those failures, and that is where I learned a lot.
Wow.
And this is not the first time. When I did third time, I failed in my fourth event, and I
Wow.
was pulled out of the water, and and I was I was training, and he's my training colleague partner, who was working with me, and we did amazing. That season was amazing. We were about to kill that, and I was pulled out of the water, and I have to sit 7 hours and waiting for my other friend who we had gone together.
Mm.
There were so many things like a comparison and how I feel when you are trained with somebody, he is completing, and it went through so much. And immediately I took my phone, started writing all of those, what I was feeling it.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then um, initial instances, okay, I need to prove, I
Mm,
need to register for the next event, which was 1 month ago, 1 month later. Then I took a little bit of time and I
mm,
said, no, I'm not proving to anybody. I'm proving to myself. I know where there are some areas I have to work. I'll do it next year.
mm.
But I talked to my wife and she said, okay, you can do it. do it next month. It's there nearby. You can do it. You have already practiced. But I needed a space there.
Mm.
No, and then went next year. I did amazingly well. And these learnings, it is hard, and we have to face those to appreciate those. And I love to be like that.
Unbelievable. I love the image of you sitting on the sidelines, being pulled out of the water on your phone, writing all these things that are coming to mind. It makes me think, so many of us in the community are doing these morning pages, and people say, what do I write? And I'm like, whatever the hell you are thinking about, whatever you're feeling, there's no rules. And this is a perfect moment where you put into practice that piece of, I am going to get out of me whatever is happening within me to allow me to process it with more ease. And I love this piece where there's this duality between an invitation, I'm going to prove, I'm going to do it next month, like, and it coming from an unhealthy place, and then the awareness kicking in saying, no, 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 I am going to do this and I'm going to take my time. I have the level of awareness to realize where I need to improve. I have the level of acceptance of making peace with that and doing this for me and taking my time and doing this properly. And I was like, oh my God, I love this vision because it's such an effort and exercise. We all of us have those two voices. And this is like such a perfect description in a story of you leaning into one voice and saying, this isn't the right voice for me right now. And then choosing the more difficult, the more humbling story of saying, no, 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 I'm going to take my time and I'm going to do this well. I'm going to do this my way and I'm going to do this for me.
Yes, I want to add one more than the when you said that feelings when I saw that I had practiced with my friend and we have been doing it for a while. When I saw that he's competing and he's doing good, I was feeling bad, to be
Mm,
honest. I was feeling because you have seen him. And then a little bit, I wrote that as well,
yeah.
a little bit. Then I said, there are other thousands of people who are completing too. Why am I not feeling bad for them?
Ooh.
Because I am very close to him
Mm,
or I know him. And these things happen when we are very, like even with our family members or anything. Also, and then I switched. I started taking his finishing videos.
mm,
How he is finishing the bike, and he's saying, "Man, after the race, he said, if I were you, I would not do this
wow.
because he said I would not because I was into so much that I like 6 months of effort,
Mm,
even the winter, and it's not only the effort time." And he said, "No, I would not do this."
mm,
I said, "Maybe."
wow. I think that what I love about this story, and we keep going further and further into it, which I absolutely adore, is this piece around so many of us can get stuck in a story of victimhood,
Yes,
frustrated, angry, resentful, jealous. All we all have it in us. Everyone listening to this recording has been there before, has felt it, and we all have that in us. And having given yourself time and space to process it allowed you to then choose differently and then to say, I'm going to show up for my friend in a different way, not in the way I originally intended, which was show up and get in the race with him, but now I'm going to show up in terms of supporting him, taking the videos, being there because I've allowed myself time and space to process what
yes,
belongs to me and doesn't belong to anybody else.
yes,
Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, Ravi, what a treat to have. I'm loving this conversation. I have to move on with our questions because we could go on this for
yes, please,
hours.
yes, please, yes, please.
So so this is a perfect example of a challenge that you overcame, really. I'd be curious to know what were the biggest lessons and challenges of your career? And I find why I ask this question is because it allows us to connect with the deepest versions of someone and allows us, because we've all been through and we will continue to go through some big challenges in this lifetime. So I would love for people to get to know, what were your biggest challenges and lessons in your career? And how did you process them? How did you move on from them? But what were those to begin with?
I felt most of the time the problem is not speaking up
Mm,
in my career, or setting the limits. Uh, like with the humbleness, so it comes along with the other areas as well. And also thinking that other people know more than me. And that mindset was a big barrier for me.
mm,
And it took into multiple situations of those. And again, this mindset, and then these tools where you learn for and uh, implementing, and open enough. I took that as a reverse way. Am I, being a manager, am I open for others?
mm,
Okay. And when I started seeing in that way, then I am able to open for thing. Maybe one bigger thing how I overcame is seeing that other side
mm,
is a human being.
mm.
Titles are second. He, he or me are a human being. Maybe I'm now here and maybe there. So that changed it. And still lot to work on. I go keep hitting that more and more, more and more.
Wow. Yeah, Ravi, I again loving this conversation. I love that piece where, the honesty around the biggest challenge was speaking up. The biggest challenge was sharing. And I loved that change where it was, you were finally in a managerial role or managerial position, and you were asking yourself, am I open enough to for people to be able to come to me with their thoughts, with their shares, and almost getting to see your own situation from the other perspective. And then all of a sudden saying, wait a minute, if I'm making sure to be open so other people feel comfortable, come see me, well, I can also be comfortable and go see and go share. And I love this piece because it's almost like an ecosystem, right? It's a two-way street. As leaders and mentors, coaches, managers, C-suite executives, whoever that might be, being in a leadership role, are we fostering an environment for people to feel comfortable enough to come to us with their feelings, with their honesty, with their thoughts, with their emotions, with their concerns, with their worries? And as people, are we courageous enough to say, hey, for this entire system to work with ease, it's also my responsibility to speak up and share?
Yes. No, that's, you put it really nice way of saying it. No, that takes a lot. And that is a real leadership. And you being authentic is, and everybody is a unique. I feel
Oh,
that we don't need to be somebody else. We have and we can be a unique. And that is and they have, and somewhere we try to be somebody else, I feel.
yeah, yeah. I think in every journey, we've all tasted that experience of trying to adopt someone else's character, someone else's vision, someone else's dreams, someone else's hopes, someone else's methodologies. And they sometimes it works, sometimes we can be inspired by it, but the majority of the time it's learning, wait a minute, can I take radical self acceptance? Can I be radically authentic? Can I fully own and take responsibility of who I am, my skills, my strengths, my weaknesses, my challenges? Because there's a place for me at the table as me, not as pretending to be anybody else. And it may take longer at first because I'm playing the game differently. But in the
Mhm.
end, I will win in a way that feels so much truer to who I am if I'm playing according to who I am. And what I love about this, Ravi, and it makes me think so much about you, over getting to know you over months. And it's like, the more I can give myself permission to be me, the more it naturally gives permission to others around me to be themselves too.
Yes, you are right. And we are okay to copy someone, taking their tools, watching their paths.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that we need to, and
Yes.
that is the having a mentor or somebody who I, and sometimes we watch so many people and we are not following one.
Yeah.
And I have very much consistency with these kind of things. Like if I know one, I stick on to those.
Mhm.
Not many. Like I have one personal coach. I have been with him 6 times, 7 years. I have one person like this PLA and the family, and
Yeah.
I know I can get these. And that is again hitting consistent
Mhm.
with that single people, and I follow one Jay Shetty or one certain people.
So good.
So uh, we are doing too much buffet kind of a thing and losing the area is what I feel. And sitting or coming to the basics and keeping it things simple is all it boils down.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Having like a mentor or a guide or a reference point for these different areas that's very specific, instead of choosing so many ingredients, so many reference point for these different areas, and it can be confusing and all of a sudden we can get lost. So
Yes,
it's like choosing, who are those key players, and what role are they playing in your story, your journey, your path, your process. So important. Yeah. Oh, Ravi, I have to ask you this question just because, with the rise of AI, it's been the hottest topic right now that we've been talking about. I'd love to get your perspective and to see it from your eyes.
yes. I when it all started, I went crazy. Like the way I called people, talking to people, man, our jobs are going to go away.
Mm,
And it was scary because the things was getting done. Then
mm,
I changed the story. Then I went, took a AI certification, wanted to see what is it. What people are saying is separate, but I
mm.
wanted to know what it can. Then the story changed. In few years, I feel I'm more excited to be with AI. I am
Mm,
taking AI as my companion. I feel AI would make us more human
mm,
because we can we we can get our chores or get things done with AI and be like this and be a person where we're at the end of the life, like they say, right? You are leaving the money on the table.
yeah,
We were leaving humanity on the table and living our life because
yeah.
we were so much into getting chores done. Now
Mm.
AI is taking care and we can be what we can.
Oh, I love this. This is such a different perspective. I think that now that AI is going to be taking care of those menial tasks, it's going to leave for more space to connect to our humanity and connect to others. And like, I love this perspective. I hadn't seen that, and that hadn't been shared before. So I'm loving this. I think that's a great way of saying, you're right. We're having this conversation today because so many tasks were delegated to AI in this process, where we can just focus on connecting, having this incredible conversation, and really getting to be present with one another, which is really what's going to matter in the end. At the end of the day, I'm going to think back at
Yes.
every person I got to truly connect with, not the emails I was writing and the schedule I was putting together, and the tiny tasks that, I'm so happy now I get to delegate.
Yes. Yes. That's an amazing thing that I see it. And again, there are few things, but we have to be open enough to
Yeah.
uh, make that as our companion. If I start putting, oh no, no, then that is where it is. So yeah,
Absolutely. Ravi, I have to ask you these questions as we wrap up. There's two questions I have. The first one is, what are you excited about for the future? I know legacy and impact is so important to you. I'd love to know, what is your version of legacy and impact for what you're excited to leave behind still in, the rest of your career, personal and professional. What excites you about that?
I have few things. I'll start with professional.
Yeah.
And now what I've tried is I'm not doing a professional costume and the personal costume differently. I'm
Mm,
making both of them same.
yeah.
So what I'm learning in personal, I'm taking to the professional. And what I'm taking professional, like leadership, I bring it to my daughter and see it. And the personal, what I do in morning pages or something, I bring it to the table of professional. That is changing, and that's the game changer for me.
Beautiful.
So coming back to your question of what I'm excited, I'm leading into so many AI projects at my organization. At the long-term goal, for now, I want to be more successful and get that done. Long-term goal, I want to be a spokesperson for the AI implementation as in positive way. I don't know, I can reach it, but that is where I'm targeting. On a personal level, I'm working with some schools, small impact. I'm targeting one person, means one person with my videos and talking to few people, learning myself. And I already scheduled events with few schools and bringing it and that one. The third one is I'm training for a triathlon. This will be a 2 years gap, but 70.3 next year. I will keep going until I finish with my daughter. One day the Ironman with her.
Amazing. Incredible. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you achieve these goals and to see the process of you prepping for them and the unfolding of how they're going to play out. I'm so excited. And my last question, as we are on the PLA podcast, is what has been your biggest takeaway from PLA so far?
Oh, I cannot put it in one word. Proximity is power.
Mm, wow. Yeah.
And it's the environment. It's a same tree grows differently in different environments, right? So where you are placed, environment plays a very important role.
Oh,
And I'll leave it there because it's if you go a little deep, it is very like digest. Like we get overwhelmed with so many people doing it, but at the same time, we have to be what we are and being that uniqueness. Everything coming together, and there are ways we can make it use any
incredible.
proximity is the power is what I can say in one word.
Oh, I love it. I love it. For anyone who's listening and is curious about PLA and wants a little bit more information, I'm going to put a QR code above, which is just the link to the next free training and workshop. So much value is given during these few
Yes.
days. Ravi knows it. I know it. So many of our community have gotten to benefit from this incredible workshop. I've even gone and attended many times because it's incredible. It's such a blessing, truly. So feel free to scan this QR code. You will get more information on when the next training is and any other information you need on PLA. And just wanted to take a moment and Ravi, thank you for your incredible time and your wisdom and your heart. You have such an incredible heart, and we can feel it every time you share on screen. So thank you for everything from today. And it was an absolute pleasure and blessing to have you on the PLA podcast.
Thank you, Dunya. I'll end with one thing. To have our 9 to 5 life, I learned somewhere here. You should know how to channel your 5 to 9 a.m. and 5 to 9 p.m.
Mm, so good. So good. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. We're all given the
And
same.
that is what PLA does. 5 to 9 and 5 to 9. And anybody looking for it,
Yeah.
and that changes 9 to 5.
Mm. So good. So good. Ravi, thank you for joining us today and hope to have you again on as a guest, obviously. And to anyone listening, thank you once again for tuning into the PLA podcast, and we will catch you for the next episode. Have a nice day, everyone.
It